All right, I'm Jeff Schultz, Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine, and welcome to the unboxing of the Class 1 Model Works TWF10 well car. It comes in this crate-like box, and it shows very clearly what is on the insides of the box. I got the late paint version since I model a post-2000 prototype, and it seemed most appropriate for my era. The lid has magnets in it. It looks like one on each corner. And inside the lid is a very nice diagram of the car, identifying the A end, the B end, and all of the major dimensions. So let's get this box open. Inside we have the now very common blister pack, which appears to have protected the model quite nicely. There are new loose parts floating around in there. I believe the model is mostly metal, so I would have been really surprised if there were loose parts, quite honestly. If anybody's ever figured out an easy way to get these well-designed blister packs apart, speak up, please. I'm always afraid I'm going to pop it and launch the car across the room. All right, and they have this additional thin, slick plastic as an additional cushion, and I would imagine it's also a friction protection so it doesn't scuff if it moves around. Well, this looks like a container. It is indeed cardboard. All right, so the model measures out at 9 inches, and it is indeed cast metal, at least in its major components. The walkways are etched metal and completely see-through. And take a look at all of that brake piping. That is pretty fantastic. Includes nice looking brake hoses. The couplers appear to be metal. I think they were a KD. Sorry, we're a little close. Except that they do not have trip pins. And so I'm going to guess that they are their own design from Class 1 Model Works. Down at the other end, we have more of the brake piping down here. The brake wheel assembly as well. The grabs and ladders. Very nice. So this being all metal, it seems fairly hefty. Let's see what it weighs. That is, if I can get it to stay on here. Okay, I don't think that was right. I know it's not 15 ounces. All right, now I got the scale more stable. And it comes out right now at 4.3 ounces. While I had the camera off, I was testing things. It was up to 4.4 ounces. And okay, now it's 4.4 ounces again, which is actually the number I trust. So, for a 9-inch model with a with 1 ounce for the start, half an ounce for each inch. That should be 5.5 ounces. So it is, as a bare table car, 1.1 ounces light, which really is not a surprise. So what I also got and unboxed a little earlier were the Southern Pacific, I believe these are the Monon containers. Yes, these are the Monon, or not Monon. Yeah, Monon, sorry. The Monon containers. It comes in a 2-pack. I'm nostalgic, so I got Southern Pacific. It is completely cast. It's 2 pieces. I'm not positive you can remove that. I'm not going to try it here because I don't wish to break it. And if we put it in the car, it comes up to 5.3 ounces, which is 0.2 ounces under NMRA standard, which is darn close. I also got one of the Hyundai cars in containers, excuse me. Hyundai container, 48-foot in Transamerica paint. Align the intercar connectors. That wasn't that hard, was it? And we are now up to 6.2 ounces, which is, if you like to overweight your cars, that's perfect. And in either case, I'm not sure it's going to make that big a deal, simply because all of the weight on this car is very low in that metal chassis. So let's do some comparisons here. I have one of the new JTC cars I got at the, obviously, St. Louis NMRA National Train Show. This was the first model of the 53-foot JTC containers in HO that they were selling. And we did a test fit of these at the National Train Show. Let's see how it works on the production models. How it works is, it works. They fit together. No problems there. Obviously, you're not going to put a 53-foot container and a 48-foot well car on the bottom. That won't fit. I also have, from 1996, 7, somewhere in there, this is a 48-foot Walthers car. And that clacking noise you probably just heard is a weight inside the thing, as I tend to weight my well cars since most of them are plastic. And that's backwards, sorry. Those pins also fit together, no problem. So with Walthers fitting, Rapido fitting, Rapido, sorry, the one more, Walthers fitting and JTC fitting. There's only one other to try, and it's a Rapido car I got with their special On Track for a Cure car a couple years back for Lionel Strang's cancer charity. That also appears to fit just fine. No problems there. I would say that when it comes to standard containers, these are nicely standard. So, don't think I've done this yet. Those are engage. Those are engage. Make sure I'm in the camera. Those appear to be engage. And those are engage. So, wheels are engage. And are an RP25 profile. So, if you can see back here, I have my handy dandy KD coupler gauge. Make sure this is on correctly. It is. We will move this somewhat. Drop the altitude. We're going down. And zoom in. Something is not, however, on the track there. That was rather easy to get on a track, especially for a car with its wheels tucked so far under. Alright, coupler height appears to be quite good there. Yeah, that's not the best way to uncouple. Let's just do that. This is the composite coupler height gauge, so you can use it on live track, although this is not, but it is much lighter weight than the metal one. Alright, those couplers are definitely at the correct height. And I am still marveling over all of that brake piping. That is pretty amazing. And you can also see from here the lift ring right in front, next to the ladders. If you have any questions, please ask them. As for now, thank you for Model Railroad Hobbyist.